The Polyptych was made by Giovanni Boccati in 1468 for the high altar of the Belforte church and commissioned by Taliano di Lippo in accordance with the prior and the notables of the time. The whole complex celebrates the figure of Saint Eustace, who was the patron of the town, and after whom the church had been named. The story is taken from the 13th century Golden Legend, and in the 4 panels of the predella it can be read, scrolling from right to left. While hunting, Eustace, a commander of Emperor Trajan's army, sees a bright shining cross with the image of Christ between the antlers of a deer. Persuaded to convert to Christianity along with his family, Eustace learns that he is to suffer and bear many humiliations before reaching glory. This is how it happens. Deprived of all material possessions, he loses his wife and 2 children, who are kidnapped by a wolf and a lion on the banks of a river. After suffering 15 difficult years, Eustace is asked by Trajan to lead the army against the barbarians. On that occasion, he miraculously meets his family again. The 4, upon arriving in Rome, do not want to venerate the pagan idols, and are thrown to a lion that, however, out of devotion refuses to devour them. They are then put into an incandescent bronze ox, and die after 3 days. The Christians bury their corpses, and build an oratory in their memory. The 4 little panels of Saint Eustace, within pairs of protruding blocks, alternate with figures of saints. In the central part, 2 pairs of angels surround a superb wooden rosette, containing the relic of the saint. The ethereal figure of the Virgin, adoring the Christ child, dominates the majestic altarpiece. Beneath a damask curtain, the spiritual mysticism of the moment is represented. A choir of musician angels symbolically highlights the future sufferings for redeeming mankind. This is represented by an angel offering a goldfinch, by the little coral crown, and by the thistle pictured on the Virgin's mantle. In the upper side, the crucifixion is represented through Mary and John suffering, and the angels collecting the Eucharistic blood. In a circle inscribed in the central cusp, the figure of God among the angels of heaven dominates them all. To the right of the Virgin, appear Saint Peter and Saint Eustace on horseback, on a meadow of dandelion, chicory, clover, and poppy. And to her left, Saint James the Greater, and Saint Venantius. In the upper level, Christ is flanked by Saint Nicholas, and by the Blessed Guardato, co-patron of the town, with the Archangel Gabriel on the pillar. And by Saint Sebastian and Saint Eleuterus at the left, with the Virgin Annunciate on the pillar. Between Saint Eustace and Saint Venantius, the figures of Saints Mary Magdalene, Barbara, and Agatha are depicted. Opposite to Saint Lucy, Saint Catherine of Alexandria, and Saint Anthony Abbot. The Polyptych of Belforte is one of the most mature works created by Giovanni Boccati. Probably the artist received his first education locally, and then started to travel through central North Italy, studying themes and styles thoroughly. Observing the works of Domenico Veneziano in Perugia and those of Fra Angelico in Florence, the painter refined his use of color, imbued with light. In the Basilica del Santo in Padua, he captures the materiality of bodies and the marks that time leaves on them. This is how Boccati develops his art, giving to the Saint Eustace Church a fascinating masterpiece in Gothic carpentry. Aware that the territory offers several examples of that so-called shady Renaissance, you must visit Belforte to taste the symbolic art and the sumptuousness of the spiritual world of the time, in a composition made up of deeply interlinked and inseparable elements.